Hi, welcome to another video. We're going to be looking at the history of horrors in this video, specifically on The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which came out in 1954. The film was directed by Jack Arnold. It stars Richard Carlson as David Reed. He was also in It Came from Outer Space, which came out the year before in 1953. Julie Adams plays Kay Lawrence, who is the main female character. Richard Dennings as Mark Williams, who plays the antagonist. The creature, or the Gill Man as they call him, Rico Browning filmed the water scenes for him in Florida, while Ben Chapman played the Gill Man on land, and that was filmed over at Universal Studios, the Universal lot. The design was created by Bud Westmore's team. He worked on the creature suit. Millicent Patrick, though, however, did the designs for it initially, and Bud Westmore and his himself was kind of known for taking credit for a lot of work that wasn't specifically his, and one of these was actually the creature design, which Millicent Patrick designed herself. So in the film, there's the Gill Man's design. Actually, it looks really cool. He has like webbed fingers, and he also has these very weird kind of shiny eyes. And those eyes were actually stuck to the suit itself, so the actors in them actually had a hard time seeing. In the later films, they would add in bigger, easier to see through eyes, but they kind of looked a little funny. Speaking of the monster's vision, a POV shot was actually used in this film, something we see all the time in horror now, but this is one of the earlier uses of that. Speaking of the POV shot, since we do see it in a lot of slashers, Ted White, he was a stuntman on the film, actually played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 4. So it's kind of interesting to note that he has connection to this film and to a Jason movie, because I think those characters are very similar as far as being more water-based monsters. So the film actually has an interesting story behind it. Producer William Allen was attending a 1941 dinner party during the film of Citizen Kane. When Mexican cinematographer Gabriel Figueroa told him about the myth of a race of half fish, half man creatures in the Amazon, Allen wrote the story in notes and titled it The Sea Monster. Later, that became a treatment, which led into the film's initial screenplay. So, what I really wanted to focus on when I was doing this video is actually talk about not so much like the film itself. I know a lot of you guys have seen this film, and it's one of the great 50s horror films, and the creature has actually placed himself pretty strongly amongst the rest of the Universal monsters. So I just wanted to really focus on the themes in this film. I think it's important when looking at these films that came out a while ago or even now to see what they're really saying about our society and about the human race as a whole. Our fears can kind of tell us a lot about what's kind of going on behind the scenes. So during the time of the 50s, we had a lot more science-based fears. After World War II, a lot of the gothic horror characters like Dracula and Frankenstein, they kind of weren't as considered as scary because had a lot more on our mind as a species. The atomic age, we kind of entered the atomic age, so we were kind of more focused on scientific horrors like alien invaders, scientific experiments gone wrong, and nuclear radiation created monsters. Within the film, there's a lot of themes regarding scientific research. There is, like I said, in the 50s, a big boom in that. With the character of Mark and David, we kind of get the two sides of scientific ideals. Mark is more kind of ready to do whatever it takes, even if it means putting people's lives on the line, kind of things we see in other films like in Alien with the Wayland Company. but I also, and then there's uh, David, which he's a little bit more. He rather have the creature be kept alive and like let's not harm it and or let's not destroy his habitat. And unfortunately, throughout the film, it's like Mark kind of messes up a lot of things for the rest of the research team because of his kind of aggressiveness towards the creature. So, regarding the humans in this film, the research team that goes out to go look for the Gill Man, the humans kind of have a interesting effect on his land. Another big theme in this could be the man's destruction of the natural world, which the humans, for the sake of science, come into the creature's home and they start to disturb the land. The creature kind of, in a way, is sympathetic because we can just see him as defending his home from these humans that kind of just come in and start bothering him. So it's like he's not really, we can't really put too much blame on him or call him too much of a monster when the humans kind of are the ones who are coming and disturbing him. So in one scene, there was actually a interesting shot. We have Kay and she's smoking alongside of the boat, and we kind of see her throw her cigarette into the water. The cigarette slowly trickles down and near the creature, and that kind of for me is you can kind of see a lot of symbolism there with maybe how humans kind of pollute and some of the issues that have become a problem in even years past this movie's release. One of the big themes in here is the Beauty and the Beast story. The creature doesn't really want to harm Kay or initially much of the other characters. He's more intrigued by her. This is a theme we kind of see in King Kong and even earlier films like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So by the end of the film, like these movies, the girl seems to be the downfall of the monster. His passion and affection for her kind of gets him in a lot of trouble, and so that's why I think he's the more sympathetic character than like most of these other monsters, is because unlike, let's say, like Dracula, he's a little bit probably pure evil, and the Invisible Man, although he doesn't want to, he kind of slowly loses his mind throughout the film. Yes, I really recommend that you check out this film if you haven't seen it already. The sets are really fantastic in this movie, the acting, the characters, uh, the black and white cinematography really kind of helps the creature and this film overall kind of have a place right next to those other Universal monster movies, even though it was made 20 years after the fact. Uh, I think that the creature is just one of those characters that, like the Frankenstein monster, we can really sympathize with, and I think that's why he was really added into uh, that big group of other Universal monsters, because they all share that kind of same bond. I hopefully want to do some of these, do more of these, and it's just a little short overview of kind of why these movies were such a big deal when they came out and why they last now. A lot of these horror themes can be similarly applied to today's environment, whether it's the environmental factors, humans kind of rushing into unknown regions and kind of having their way with it. Beauty and the Beast story will always be something that I think will continue long after, and it because it kind of held true all before this movie as well. We just had The Shape of Water a couple years ago. Have a lot of these themes, and that won Best Picture for that year. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Throw some comments about the movie in the comment section below. You can go ahead and please subscribe and like the video. Also, bell notification to let you know when a new video comes out. Thanks for watching, guys.